Hi,
Hi,
everyone. Welcome
everyone.
back to another episode of Can We Discuss with Yara and Petra.
On today's episode, we wanted it to be a little bit of a different discussion. I'm going into this with kind of like an open mind and just, I wanted to get Yara's perspective on, dating in the modern world. Obviously, we've both been in relationships for the past 10 years. We're
We've
married.
been out of it for a while.
We've been out of the market for a very long time. But I think it's always an interesting conversation. And it's funny because this is a topic that we always come back to whenever we are out with single friends. And I'm interested to also understand like how this looks like in Dubai versus how we're feeling it here in the US. Let's get into it. So yesterday I was talking to one of my girlfriends and she was like, I'm just feeling like I can't get what I want out of the dating world. We're never on the same page. She'll go on a few dates, she'll have a great time with a guy. Sometimes they've even gone as far as like, okay, yalla, we're exclusive and we're dating now. Best, they skip over a part that I think is so important, which is talking about their intentions. And it almost feels like it's awkward or not cool or cringe or whatever to discuss what your intentions are. And I think that's so interesting is a nice word to say.
I
Interesting.
mean, stupid is a better word to say.
Stupid is a better word. Useless, in the famous words of Sabrina Carpenter, because it's like, what are we even doing here? Like, especially at our age, we're in our 30s right now. And like, if we're dating in your 30s, I think the first conversation, before I even ask you like what you do for a living, it's like, what the fuck are you looking for? And people skip over that. And I remember when me and Jason first started dating, I was 22 years old and I had just gotten out of a 4-year relationship. And I was like, for my next relationship, I'm not just going to date someone just to date someone. I want to date someone that we're on the same page. It's not about like today or tomorrow I want to get married, but I'm not going to half date someone to have fun. La, I can have my fun without dating anyone. So I think like 2 or 3 weeks into like me and Jason talking and going out and whatever,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Before this like escalates further, I just want you to know, Anna, I eventually want to get married. Anna, I see myself becoming a mom. And if that's not something that you see in your life in general, let's just keep this casual.
And you were only 22, Yana. You were still so young. You had a lot of life to live still.
A lot of life. And Jason
هلا
was
انت
20.
شوي يعني يا تخو يكسر له مخه. You were one of the extremes, right? You were giving him this like ultimatum at 22, and it's at 22, everybody's like, where the hell is my next party destination?
Yeah,
It's not thinking about where the future is gonna be.
I know. Leiki, you're not wrong. So I definitely think like there has to be a balance. But again, I didn't want to waste any more time. So I was like, I'm either going to be like out there flirting, having fun with whoever I want, or if I'm even going to speak to you, like at least let us make sure we're on the same page. Naturally, like Jason's 24. He freaked out, but then he was kind of like thrown off guard, like, wait, what the hell? Like, you just broke up with your boyfriend. We just started like saying even no, we like each other. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, I never thought of this, that never crossed my mind. And I was like, okay, cool. Take a minute, and see if this is even something that you want. And for like 2 or 3 weeks, we chilled, just giving him a minute to like just understand what the hell I just told him.
24, yeah.
At 24. And I was like, listen, ماني عم أقول إنه tomorrow I want to get married, but eventually, like if we,
that's something that's in my, yeah.
And why did I say that? I think it's important to also understand, if it wasn't Jason, if it was anyone else that I was talking to, like it has to be someone that I actually saw potential with. Like Jason was exactly the kind of guy I wanted to end up with, And so I could see a lot of qualities in him that it's like, this is a potential person that I do want to marry or that I could live with forever. And that's why I had that conversation. So I think it's very important, and especially at 30, you're setting those intentions up front and you're kind of getting on the same page.
I think a lot of people, even though they're 30, I don't think they know exactly what they want. And I think that's where it starts going wrong. So
Yeah.
you need to be very clear with what your intentions are with yourself first.
Yeah.
That self-awareness is a very, very big thing. You need to be very comfortable and confident with saying, this is what I want. This is the type of person I see myself with. And you don't settle, right?
Yeah.
And some people settle by not even asking themselves the right questions of what they want
Very
in the
true.
future, what they want in a partner, what they want for themselves. And when you're not honest with yourself about these all of these things, I don't think you can be with somebody else, regardless of whatever age you are. If you haven't thought of these things, if you haven't been confident and comfortable with what your preferences are, what your needs are, what your wants are, you're not going to end up in a happy place in general. I think the first thing you need to do is be honest with yourself. That's like the most important thing. And then you need to love yourself with all of your flaws, acknowledge them, love yourself with everything. And only then will you be able to be honest with somebody else and love someone else. Because if you don't love yourself, how do you expect to love somebody else? And how do you expect them to love you back? So
Very
if
true.
you haven't dealt with all of the demons in your closet, you're not going to ever be able to have a relationship that's very fulfilling, right? And
صح.
I'm not talking about little mini things. No, I'm talking about big things that you need to be very aware of. And you need to be very
Yeah.
honest with yourself about.
Yeah, it's very true. And it's not to say like you have to seek perfection because I don't think that
Not at
exists, but
all. Not at
it's like
all.
you said, it's about
It's acceptance.
accepting, yeah,
Yeah.
accepting some flaws that you have self-identified and being at peace with, yeah, you know what, I'm human, I'm a work in progress, I'm always going to be changing and shifting and learning and growing, and that's okay. But it's also sharing that same grace with whoever that partner is going to be.
Yeah.
Which moves me to like my second thought, which is in today's world, it's so easy to, in Arabic, we have a saying, يضلوا عيونك لبرا, and which is essentially like thinking that the grass is always greener, right?
Yeah.
And what's out there that might be better. You know, it's so easy in today's world. I've never, dating apps didn't exist when I was single, but
They
now,
did.
like,
You just never used them.
oh, they did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't use them, I guess. Um, so I like today, مثلا هلا when we were out with our single friends, I see like how quick and easy it is for them to just like swipe and see what's better out there for them, which is so scary. And I think that's really like the problem in today's world is like you're never going to be content. You're never going to put in the work because you're always going to feel like, oh, maybe there's something easier out there, or maybe there's something better out there, It's,
I think at this point when you're using the apps, you need to be very convinced that I'm going to use it. I'm not going to abuse it. Right.
yeah,
And then you have to be the type of person that's not on the app just to randomly meet people and then let them go. You need
yeah,
to be on the app to actually give it a shot. And some people are very convinced with who they are as individuals. So from like a first date, they can tell person not for me. Great. I met a new
yeah,
person. We're
yeah,
friends. I can move
yeah,
on. You
yeah,
need to be open to just meeting several people and then putting yourself out there a little bit, as long as you're comfortable.
yeah.
But that
But
being said, I have not experienced needing
yeah,
to be on an app. And I'm
yeah,
a very reserved individual.
yeah,
Throughout university, I'd go on random dates sporadically here and there, but I was never dating anyone when I was in
yeah,
university.
yeah,
I started dating, yes, when I think it was the last year of my university.
yeah,
Yeah, I was about to graduate, and when we started dating, and at that point, he was done with his master's, moving on to work, blah, blah, blah. And that was just, I had a very good amount of time where I was just really happy with the way my life was. I had the time to be comfortable with who I was as a person, and I loved myself. So I was
yeah,
able to be in a relationship where I'm like, this is who I am. You either take me for who I am, because obviously I was in a relationship way before that, then
Yeah.
that I had to change so many things about myself for this person. And then I grew up and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not ever happening. It's me first. This person compliments me. This
Yeah.
person brings out the best of who
Best.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll be in a relationship with them.
صح.
If this person tries to change even a single thing about me, I don't want to be with them.
Yeah. It's also, I think, like when it comes to swiping culture, and I hear you in terms of you have to be a person who's like comfortable with yourself and understands what you want. I also think you have to be a person who understands like what a relationship is going to take, and you're willing to take a chance. Like I have friends who are actively dating someone, not exclusively dating, but actively dating someone, and still go on apps and look at different options. That's insanity.
They're
I'm
part of the
sorry.
problem.
That's part of the problem. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I understand maybe you're not ready for a serious relationship, but even if you're not ready, are you communicating that to the person that you're dating? So it's like,
Yeah.
no matter what your
Are you
intentions
communicating that
are,
to yourself?
yeah,
Or are you just falling into society's trap of, I'm going to keep this person on the side because you always should have somebody that you're dating at this age if you're 32, 33.
yeah,
But I'm actually, as a human
mm,
being, I'm not ready to be committed or in a committed
yeah.
relationship. So I'm
And the
going
way
to do
that
everything else.
exactly. And it ends up always just with heartbreak or with, mismanaged expectations. And it's just like, is it really worth it? Setting your
Yeah.
intention from the beginning with anyone that you're speaking to, I just think is very, very important. And, my friends, some of them have had to like, oh, I need to take a break from the apps. And I'm just like, damn, really? Like,
That's
where is
extreme. That's extreme.
yeah, where, yeah, we have some extreme cases, but like, where is our self-control? Where is our,
It's like Instagram. You're on it
yeah, it's like
mindlessly
Instagram.
swiping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also you brought up social media, and I think like that's also what contributes to this like very toxic dating culture that's happening. I don't know about how the situation is in Dubai, but like here in the US, every single person that I meet, stranger, closest friends who are single, all have the same problem. They're like, there's no one out there for me, and there's no one out there who wants the same things, and I can't find someone for me. And I'm just like, well, I also know that you are part of the culture that is always looking for more, that is not willing to put in the work. One of my friends is like, yeah, I've been dating this guy for a while now, we're going on a few dates, I really like him, like I can see something with him, but oh, I'm leaving tonight because I have another date with someone new. And I'm just like, but what's the point? Yani, what is the goal of bringing this new person into your life? You have to want to put in the effort. You have to understand that for a relationship to really thrive and work, there's compromise, there's sacrifices, and there's work. Every single day there's work in this relationship. Social media fucks up your expectations of like, oh, it has to be this happy-go-lucky,
What a
rainbows,
relationship should
butterflies.
actually look like.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not real life. And again, it's like what you said in the beginning. It's not to say you should settle for less, but it's just to say, let's be a little bit realistic. Just like you're not perfect, you have to accept that whoever's you're going to bring into your life, they're never going to be perfect. It's about how you bring the best out of each other,
Yeah.
But yeah. So tell me a little bit about like Dubai. How is it in Dubai? Stateside, everyone's like, my person's not in America. Like, I'm like, the fuck? There's like, I don't know, billions of people in America. Are you sure?
They're in Japan.
Yeah.
Listen, honestly, to be fair, your person might not be within your current orbit or current
Oh yeah.
circle, right?
Yeah.
That's completely normal. That's completely
Yeah.
fine. That's fair. You need to be convinced, or you need to have faith that the right person is out there, but
Yeah.
it probably isn't the right time for you to meet that person because you're
Yeah.
not in a place in your life and they're not in a place in their life where you have space for each other.
Yeah.
So you need to have faith that it will happen. Stop looking.
Yeah.
When you stop looking, that's when it happens.
Very true. Yeah.
But also, I think a lot of people, because خلص, they're convinced إنه صار عمرنا ما بعرف 30 plus, لازم نكون عنا حدا، لازم نكون بدنا نتجوز، لازم whatever.
It
So
was
they communicate
cultural.
their intentions with the other person that they're dating. And that person clearly tells them that this is not where I'm at right now. I might be there in the future. I'm just not there right now. I don't want to think about it. That to me is a huge red flag. When you're in your 30s, you're probably dating somebody that's in the 30s or maybe 40s. But
Hopefully.
at this point, if somebody tells you they're not ready or they're not thinking about it, might be there for the future, and you're there right now, this person's not for you. خلاص يعني من الآخر.
Yeah.
And I think in the UAE, people are on the apps. People are obviously on the apps because the UAE,
Yeah.
like Dubai specifically, it has a lot of expats.
Yeah.
But I think people are on the apps because here it's such a hustle. Like you live a very fast-paced life. Of course, hella, it's quieted down a bit, but you live a very fast-paced life. And you go, where am I going to meet someone? You either meet somebody at work or through friends. And
Yeah.
nowadays, through friends, it's gotten a bit harder because birds of a feather flock together. It used to be so much easier. When you're younger, you go out a lot, your friends are single, or the majority of your friends are single around you. And you're just hopping, like bar hopping or going from one place to another. And it's so much easier for people to come up to you or for you to go up to people, right? Right now, it's not the case. So
Which is so
things do look
sad.
different.
I think it's so interesting too. For example, like we were at dinner the other day, and one of my friends was like, "Oh my God, I matched with her on Hinge. I matched with her on Hinge. I matched with her on Hinge," and it's
Go
like,
talk to them.
no, yeah, no one even got up or like came to the other person and was like, "Hey, you look familiar," or whatever it is. I thought it was so funny that they're in the same place now, but no one is going up to each other, and it's just like, why? You know? And no.
It's
What,
weird.
it's very weird. It's very awkward. Like, and they'll do it in a funny way. Like, oh, I recognize you from somewhere. I don't fucking know. Like, find a way to like talk to each other face to face. Like, this is your chance.
But that
Hinge.
says something, right? That says something about the culture, the day and age that we live in right now, right?
Yeah.
And you're too shy, you're hiding behind your phone to
Yeah.
actually go speak to a person.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
something.
It's sad. That's what
It is sad. It's sad. Of course, it's
Yeah,
sad.
it's
It's
sad.
not to say anything about those people.
I
It's
know, I
just
know.
to say that we have now become community as a whole has become more comfortable not saying anything, even if they notice something,
Yeah.
right? Or someone.
Yeah.
And before it was like, I'm very comfortable going up to a person and be like, wait, I've seen you somewhere.
I've
Is it
done that
social
so many
media?
times.
Maybe it's social media because, like I say it in a way that these days you never know who you've actually met and who you haven't because you see people on
100%.
Instagram all the time. Like just say
1,000%.
it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're all experiencing the same thing. We are
Yeah.
all basically living the same life, just different time frames.
Yes. It's very, very true. And I think it's so interesting. It's like both parties didn't. And it's like, guys, you trust Hinge so much to match you. And now you have a real life opportunity to see this person in real life, talk to them, and see if Hinge was right about you guys. And you didn't even take that opportunity, or like you didn't take that upon yourself to go and try to figure it out on your own. Well, then maybe you don't want it enough, you know? So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. And I think one of our friends is always one of my guy friends, like, oh, like your conversations are for the girls. Like, when is it going to be something for the guys? And I was like, well, what do you want to hear about? And he's like, what are girls looking for these days?
Oh,
And I think it's a very cool topic. So I think we should
yeah.
bring in like some of our single friends to have this chat. But I think, even Jason, whenever he hears our single girlfriends talk about like what they want or be very like explicit about what they want, he's like, it's so weird. Like, I don't know, with us guys, like we don't really think about this stuff. We don't really say, oh, I want to get married at this age, or oh, this is what I want. It was like, well, you didn't, but I'm sure there are some guys out
There are
there.
a lot of guys that do think about it, of course.
Yeah, and that's
Of
what they
course.
want. So It's just, yeah, just interesting how kind of today's world is set up. And it's so interesting because I love what you said, that we're all living the same life, because it really, like, this really is, I feel like, every single person's universal experience that they're going through
Yeah.
right now. And we're so much more interconnected, and our lives are so much more intertwined and similar than we think. And so I think it's just nice to always feel like there's other people out there who are going through the same thing. And it's like, reach out, extend an olive branch, like talk to the people around you and start a
Yeah.
conversation with a stranger. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Put yourself
Sometimes.
in a situation where you're forced to speak
Yeah.
to new people, where you're
Yeah.
not. And I actually have a friend, and she was telling me this. She's like, hey, guess what? I'm on the apps again. And I'm actually going out on dates, and I'm doing them like very, very casual dates. Like it's either a coffee date or a walking date, because I just don't want to be stuck in dinner with this person for the longest time. And
Yeah.
I want to have kind of that way out. And I
Yeah.
think her acknowledging that for herself is amazing, because she goes, I'm willing to put myself out there. However, I'm not willing to waste my time, because she knows she does
Yes.
not want to waste her time.
Yes.
So she's giving these guys a chance. She's
Yeah.
just meeting people. She's like, what's the worst that can happen? This person's just going to be an acquaintance. Probably we're going to laugh about this in a couple of years if we
Yeah.
bump into each other somewhere. So let me just do that, and then I'll see where it goes. And at the same time, she's like, now I'm in a place where I have to put myself in these situations of meeting
Yeah.
guys in different ways, because I'm not meeting them in the traditional sense of the way. Like,
Yeah.
so she's comfortable enough to put herself in uncomfortable situations or new
Mm.
situations where she has to meet people. She has to get out of her shell.
Yes.
And that gives her an opportunity. That gives her a real opportunity to meet somebody, right?
Yeah.
And خلص, when you're out of your comfort zone, that's when you're going to meet people.
Yeah.
If you're always doing the same thing, you're always with the same people, you're just not willing to change scenery, you're never
It's
going to meet
not
the right
really gonna
person.
happen. Yeah.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And I think that's a great way to kind of like end this discussion, is just to say that, like, kind of tap into our old, like, 15, 16-year-old selves, tap into like your inner child, really. And remember how much fun it was when we would go out and like talk to random people and meet strangers. And that's kind
Yeah.
of the situation that you want to put yourself back in. But again, it's now, we're privileged because at this age we know what we want. And so it's like, being vocal about it, putting it out there, putting that out in the world, I think is what's really gonna help you get there. And then again, like, when you do find characteristics in a person, and you find a person who brings out the best in you, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be effortless, that it's gonna be like rainbows and
Of course
butterflies
not.
all the time. You're still two very different people trying to merge your life into one. And that comes with challenges, and that comes with ups and downs. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation with one of our single girls, maybe one of our single guys as well, like showing different perspectives, I think could be
Both
cool.
sides of the coin. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you for joining us in our discussion today and tuning in. And as always, come back in 2 weeks for another episode of Can We Discuss with Yara and Petra. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.